Good afternoon, and I'm just into a Sunday afternoon for me. It's just gone 12 and I've got the NC700 back up on the ramp. The cleaning of the brakes worked for about a week and a half and now it's binding on again. I had a bloke at work who is a mechanic and he knows his stuff. Hopefully he's right this time. He reckons the master cylinder is pinching up or gummed up or whatever, so I've got a seal kit for it. I've got one for the front and one for the rear, genuine Honda parts, and just to let you know, the front one 32 quid, spot on, 32 quid. Rear, for some unknown reason, 82 quid. So yeah, I could have got the pair of them on eBay for 16 quid, obviously made out of chocolate and cheese, but yeah, 80 odd quid, I don't know how they warrant that. It's pretty much the same parts in there. Anyway, bought it, ripped off or not, I bought it. I'm just trying to decide how to get into this. I think I'm going to take the exhaust out of the way so I can get onto this bottom, the whatever it's called, the bracket that holds brake pedal and converts the energy that you release via your foot through the brake pedal up through the rod, pushing hydraulic fluid through the pipes and activating the brakes. Obviously on this one, activating the brakes both ends, which is really annoying when your back brake starts to stick on, because the front does too. I've been riding it like this. I freed off the brakes, front and rear, and I just haven't been using the rear brake, which is disgusting and disgraceful, but open and honest, that's what I've been doing. So now, as I say, I'm going to take that exhaust off and get it out of the way. I don't really know what I'm doing. No change there. Well, I just thought this would give me I'll throw that on the floor, a better insight into how to disconnect that bottom bracket. What do I need? I'll put a bit of easing oil on this exhaust clamp, but it really is crusty. Oh, there we go. Right, one exhaust removed. That was a lot easier than I thought. Hopefully the rest of the job will go just as easy. Right, I'll just get a light, I think. So this is the bracket that I'm trying to figure out how to come off. I think it's just a split pin at the back, but as I say, the exhaust was in the way for access. So I'm just going to move you back so I can actually get in there and have a look at that and hopefully get that undone. And I think there's a couple of bolts holding the cylinder and then various pipes, and we're somewhere near permanently ruining the back brakes. Anyway, let's move you out of the way, and yeah, I don't think I can put you in a place. Yeah, you're not really going to see what's going on and my head's going to be in the way, so I'll get rid of you and bring you back in a minute. Okay, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Yes, it is just a split pin that goes through a hole, and that just pushes through the brake and the bracket like that. So that's off and out, emphasis on the at. So I think we want top banjo bolt. So top banjo bolt be out. Let's, okay, next on the list, banjo bolt at the top, 2 bolts in behind. Sorry about the angle, but there you go, one there, one down there, and then that should come away. I'm also going to undo the reservoir and pull that lot out as a unit, I think, and then stick it on the bench. So I'm going to get a glove to wrap the banjo up, and I'm going to lose all the fluid out of that. That's a point, have I got any fluid? No, I haven't. Oh, need a trip to the shops as well. Yeah, anyway, glove. Right, got the glove ready. I think I'll loosen the banjo bolt off a little bit. Crack it like that. It's a bit too much because it's already leaking. Probably because it's still under pressure. Under pressure. Dun, 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 dun. That's that one out of the way. I think that, yeah, I think that, and then undo the banjo, because that'll be out of the way of the banjo. Will you be out of the way of me? Let's move you around there. Still see it. Like that should do. It's higher than where it's heading, so hopefully we won't lose anything. This is where I find out these bolts are too long and I need to take all of this off. Oh, it comes out, you just can't get it out because of the swing arm, so there you go, reservoir and master cylinder out. Right, get it up on the bench and strip it down, I suppose. Okay, got it on the bench, emptied the juice out into the juice jar. So reservoir off, one bolt, expected that to be a lot worse, doing it so shitty. There we go, a bit more flood, let's get rid of the flood. No ring in there. Apart from that, it looks all clean. I've never done this before, so I don't know how that's meant to be filled, but it feels like there's a lump to go past. It does seem to be returning alright. So perhaps it's 80 quid's worth of a waste of time. Uh-oh. So, is that just a lock nut? Or is it 12? Yeah, I think that's the lock nut. And then this has got a trapped thread in it. So, something like that, something like that, and all this comes out like that. That's that off, and then you've got a flat spot there. Yeah, you've got a flat spot there to hold onto. While you undo that one with a 10mm, which for some reason my 10mm's gone walkabout. Oh, there it is. Open your eyes. I think that goes down to a shaft and a washer, and we'll have a look. Yeah, I think this is going to be fun. This ain't been touched ever. Which is hopefully exactly why the brakes aren't working properly. One end has started poking its head out, but the other end is a bit more obstinate. Yeah, it's definitely coming out one side. The trouble is these are smaller hold, but these are the wrong ones, because as you pull them, you're trying to pull it out rather than in. Let's see if these will. These only go in a little bit, but now it's got some movement. I might be able to wang it on these. Wanging it being the technical term. Alright. Yay! Oh, that is nasty. That is foot with a capital F for foot. Right, should be that should now actually just fall out. Or should it? Or do we punch it through from the other side? Let's punch it through from the other side. So what's it going to be? It's going to be... I think it's that, isn't it? That way. Because the cup, the end of this has like a ball on it, which fits into that socket, which allows it to have that movement. So we're punching that end. So we've got that new, and then the spring. So should have just bought a refurbished one. Gone for the lazy option. There we go. So then we should get the spring out as well. Look at that. The amount of shit that's got behind that. That's rusty as, you know, rusty stuff. That's as rusty as that. Might need to take that right off, give that a right clean up. And it's bowed as well. Is that meant to be bowed? That ain't long enough. That's what she said. That ain't long enough either. No, I don't think any of them are long enough. Uh-oh. These are long enough. So are they thin enough? So we've got the solid washer seal Dewberry. Would be a seal? Be a seal, wouldn't it? It's got to be a seal, wouldn't it? Isn't it? The state of that. That goes that way. There should be another. Should be another one, shouldn't there? Is that it? How does that go on there? Does that come apart? See what I mean about this not being a tutorial? So that goes like that. With that. Push that through. That came out first. Is that, then that, then that. So that must travel up and down the bore. And that's the return spring. Oh yeah, tensile strength is gone. More so in my fingers. Right, so that's got to unscrew, isn't it? Isn't it? Oh, how did you get that on there? Well, we've got a new one here, that doesn't unscrew. So how does that go on there? That's an amazing feat of engineering. So it goes cup up like that. Is it stretch enough to go over that? That can't be right, can it? That's definitely on tapered end of the spring, which then goes in there. At least the bore looks good. Which goes in there. Goes in there, sits up against there, and then that sits there. The fluid comes in there. How does it pump it up if that's not got a hole in it? No comprendi. Must go back past. Why has that got a spiral? Brains of a pigeon. That would actually sit somewhere. That would be inside. So that would sit about there. So does that rattle in the bore? No, that's a solid. That would go there, that would go there. Fluid will come in there. And you're pushing that up, which compresses the fluid. Yeah, I don't know. But what I do know is this one here has to come off of there. So are we going over here? That's the way it looks. So that wants to go on. Let's get a bit of fluid. Bullshit, don't knock the bike over. That wants to go. On there, like that. Oh, that looks a lot better shape than the other thing. Yeah, it definitely looks look at that. Look at that light, you can see that. It definitely looks like a smaller diameter, so that's definitely a better seal on there. That will go like that, that will go like that, that will be on this when I clean it up. So that's your piston. Right, okay. I'm going to clean this up, I am. And then, I don't know. I'm going to clean that up anyway. I need to go get some more .4. Yeah, clean that up, clean myself up, clean this out. Yeah, some bits of shit in there, but it's not going to help that this is dirty, so I'll get a little brass brush on that in the Dremel probably, and then probably a steel brush on them. Yeah, right, steel brush on them, little brass wire brush in there, clean that seating up, clean myself up, come back and sterilise the workplace and put it all back together, hopefully. So, went out, got my .4 brake fluid, a couple of litres of that, not expecting it to bleed very easily. Had my lunch and got my Dremel, so I'm just going to clean these bits up and then start putting it back together. That's probably enough out of that brush. But look how gorgeous that looks now. Right, managed to get that on there. Bit of a pain in the ass, but let's get the worst of this off first. Yep, that killed that. There is little wire bristles everywhere. That will definitely help with the braking system. Back again, and I've cleaned the bolty doobry thing up. I've left the washer over there, haven't I? Hang on. Right, try again. Washer and bolt cleaned. Master cylinder cleaned. What else needed cleaning? That need cleaning? No, we'll live with the patinaed look on that fella. So I'm going to give it a blow job and then brake fluid it. Brake fluid? No. Brake cleaner it. Right, can't see any nasties in there now. So okay, I think. Okay, let's add squirts and squirts and squirts. Ain't we all? Usually after a really good curry. But let's add some good squirts of everything. And I've doubly checked. I think my man Nev was on about the little, is it the return pipe passage hole, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I've blown a load of air and everything through that. Definitely clear. Main one's definitely clear. Cleaned it up as much as I deem worthy. And now I'm going to put it back together. Oh yes I am. I think, yeah? So where are we going? It's that. That needs to go on there. So that goes on there. Should have cleaned that, shouldn't I? There's always something in there. There's always something you miss. It's not so much the nut. I'm not worried about the patinaed look of the nut. It's the ridge. Especially round there. Can you see it? Can you? To make sure that sits in there properly. Because that obviously or not obviously keeps the worst of the shit and everything going up inside it as a dust and shit seal. And then obviously the ones on your piston and spring are a hydraulic seal, obviously. And if they're not, and they're something different, let me know. But I've been in the trade about 45 minutes now, so I know my stuff. So this thingy with the groove in it needs to be cleaned out so it fits on this thingy with this thingy stuck on it. There you go, see, I know my stuff. Right, I'll go and clean that like I should have done earlier. Okay, now it's clean, apart from that shoulder there. But, you know what I mean? Get over yourself. Get over yourself. Right. Gorgeous. So that wants to go on there without cross threading it. Like that. You want to assemble the rest of it first. Do we? Yeah, I think so. So, I'm going with that is gorgeous. I'd stick a bit of the old debris on it to try and get it sliding nice. Oh yeah, that feels good. That does feel good. Oh yeah, there ain't no graunchy and nasty bit there. So we just want that. This is the fun part, isn't it? You've got to hold all that in whilst putting in the debris pin. Yeah, so pistons in. Pistons in, push that down. Try and hold it. And then pick this up. Ah, okay. We'll put that in there. Did I mention this ain't a tutorial? Are you starting to believe me? You know what, watching this, it must look as though it'd be better to go to the garage. Oh dear, Laurel and Hardy's strikes again. Why aren't you getting in there? You're meant to go in the little hole. Why do you not understand your job in life? A little bit unorthodox, but I think it's in there. Definitely think it's in there. It's just a bit more. Oh, it's fatter that side, that's why. Just looks as though there's too much sticking out on that top edge, as you can see from the old one. Apart from it being a bit bent up, it's fatter in that area, ain't we all? So that's in. It's definitely in. And I'll tell you what, that is beautiful. What a difference that made. Thank goodness, we wouldn't want it to be the same. So that can go on the nut. Yeah, it's definitely sitting in there, and then screw that down. Might put a bit of red rubber grease on that actually, just to ease it in there a little bit easier. Ain't going to do it any harm, is it? Is it? Let me know in the comments. Oh, what a donut. I'm turning the whole fucking thing, thinking the nut's tightening up. Bah! Who noticed that? I was laughing. Who's now laughing now I've told you? But that black dot killer is. So that's that tight on there. And then we want, oh yeah, blimey. What a difference a day makes. What a difference a day makes. It's just, wasn't quite bottomed out in places. That's a bit better. Now what do we want? We want the other nut. There's the other nut. That goes on there. And then this screws on there. Of course, now I cleaned it. I don't know how long it was. That's what she said as well. Dirty cow. So that's pretty much where we were. I suppose the other question is, have I got another O-ring? To go on here. Right, let's have a look in my box of O-rings. Okay, the closest I've got is a little bit smaller. I ain't going to use it, because I don't think it'll. This one needs forcing in, which then to me means it's going to stick in there better, and when the tube goes into it, because it's been forced in, the tube's going to force it out and it'll be a tighter seal. So I'm not going to bother with that other one, I don't think. Do I think? Not very often. And then with regard this, and turn the compressor on. Okay, compressor's full up again. Oh yeah, that's definitely full up again. That's clean. Right. That'll do it, won't it? Bit of juice on there. To help that fella go in. Like that. A little screw in there. Like that. And then we are. That's rubbish, 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 rubbish. Top of that is filthy. Put that on loose while I'm fitting it all up. Right. One refurbished rear brake master cylinder to the bike. Okay, just got to shove it back on the bike now. You know what, I'm going to put that over my exhaust. Beautiful. I think it all looks a bit wrong now. It goes up into there. Yeah, I think that's meant to go over the top of that. That's better. That's definitely better. Right. So we can lean that out the front to get some fluid into it. Get some bolts in there. And that bolt wants to go in. Oh, it doesn't want to go in. Before you offer it up, that bolt wants to go in because there's not enough room with it in place to get the bolt in. Click. That's them two. That one's on. That one needs tightening up, which is the 12mm. Click. Is that on? And then this little feature could do with perhaps taping up there so it's on the outside of the frame so I can top it up easier. Something like that. Now all we need to do is bleed it. Well, top it up and bleed it. And I think it's the front lower nipple. The front lower nipple in between the banjos is your back brake. And you're meant to do that first, and they recommend doing it with a vacuum pump because it takes forever with the pedal. Pedal. Need to connect the pedal. So I'll connect the pedal and then I'll get on with getting my vacuum pump and everything out and giving that a go. Right, let's get a new split pin for that, I think. Okay, new split pin. I've spun this down to where I think it roughly should be, which is still down from the pedal. But there's not much more adjustment I can do down there. So that's going to be it until I try it. I'll stick that through there, like that. That's a little bit painful. A bit stronger the new ones than the old ones. Right, there we go, that's on. Now what do we want to do? Some fluid in. I still didn't get the vacuum pump. Right, fluid and vacuum pump, I think. Okay, yes. Okay, mobile brake fluid, dot 4. So we'll top this fella up here. Not even seeing that, are you? Where are we? Here, yeah. Top this fella up. It's forcing a few bubbles out already. Not it matters, there's a There's a massive bubble in that bit of tube, and obviously in the whole master cylinder. Right, that's as far as that's happy, I think. So we're going to have fluid down to about here, possibly. Give it a couple of pumps and see what happens. Blowing some bubbles up. I'll carry on with that before I go on to the vacuuming, before the mighty vac is put to use, and I'll bring you back. Okay, that all sort of happened rather rapidly. Yeah, I topped that up and kept pushing the pipe, and then kept pumping the brake pedal, just slowly down, slowly up, and there was more bubbles coming out. And when that stopped, I cracked off the banjo bolt, cracked it off, pushed the pedal down, held it down, tightened it back up, let the pedal off slowly, and kept repeating that. And that's all I've done so far. And already we've got, you see the brake as well, yeah, we've got freewheel, solid, 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 solid. So that's without bleeding the front at all. I do believe there's still air in the system, so I will bleed it through with the mighty vac, and see how far I get. I'm a bit concerned about the, what's it called, a proportional valve or something, which obviously, as you press, not obviously, but as you press the back brake, it sends a proportion of that force to the front caliper, which pushes that the middle smaller piston out, which puts some braking on the front as well. But yeah, I can't believe how that's working already. Yeah, so as I say, I am going to go on with the mighty vac, do a bit of bleeding on there, but for all intents and purposes I'm done. If that becomes a nightmare and for some reason the proportioning valve needs opening to bleed through it, or the ABS fucks me about or something and it turns into a nightmare, I'll let you know at a later date. But yeah, as I say, that's all I've done. I've squeezed the tube here to bring up air bubbles, and then I've slowly pressed the pedal up and down to get a few more bubbles up, coax them up, and then I've been doing the normal pedal bleed off the banjo, which is slow down, crack the banjo and then slowly down with the brake pedal, hold it down and lock it off again, do it up, let the pedal up slowly and keep doing that. And I only did it about 7 or 8 times, and then it's you could hear that it was a jet of fluid coming out rather than pretty much nothing and dribbling. But as I say, there's definitely some other small air bubbles in the system, so I will go through with the mighty vac. On these link brakes you bleed the front one first. As I say, that lower nipple, this top one here is for the front brakes, and then you do the back. And if that doesn't work, you do the front again and then the back, and you carry on like that till you've got decent brakes. But I'm going to leave it there because I can bleed this up while I have the radio on. I can't have the radio on with you as well, you audience, you. But yeah, there you go. Hope that was of some interest to someone. But yeah, the problem was brakes were binding on again. I did give them a good clean out not so long ago, which lasted about a week and a half, and then started failing again. So I've renewed the internals on the rear master cylinder. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching, and well done if you got this far without skipping any of it. And subscribe, because if you've got this far, you'll probably enjoy other videos I do. Probably, I'm not saying definitely. But yes, there you go. Brakes, hopefully this time, done. Thanks for watching. Catch you again. Ta-ra.